For the first time in what feels like an eternity, A's fans in Sacramento, A's fans everywhere have something to celebrate. The series drought is over. It took the A's. The A's took 2 of 3 from the division rival Rangers, and they did it with big-time performances up and down the roster. Jacob Lopez continues to impress, gave them 6 strong innings. Lawrence Butler continues to show off the power, launching a 2-run missile. And how about my personal MVP, Zack Gelof, delivered the go-ahead 403-foot bomb. And Tommy White, Tommy Tanks, celebrated his first Major League home run by sending one into the seats. After going 0-12-1 in the previous 13 series in Sacramento, the A's finally get one across the finish line. Tonight on Last Call, we're breaking down the win, the home run parade, Lopez's continued impressive pitching. And is this the start of something or just a brief interruption from all the chaos going on? Welcome to Last Call. Grab your drinks, grab your pop, whatever you do. Guys, we haven't had one of these in a long time. And obviously, the only time I bust out the shades and the hat is for a series win. You haven't seen this much this year, but hey, we're partying tonight, guys. How you guys doing, man? Hobbs, what's up, bud? Bobby, go A's. Yeah, for sure, man. We got one. When you really look at this game, it starts with Jacob Lopez. Jacob Lopez has been beyond impressive in his last several outings. Jacob Lopez went, again, 6 innings today, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks. He struck out 6. He's looking back to his old self that we saw in the second half last year. And I'm hoping this can turn into something a lot more consistent. When you look at Jacob Lopez's last several starts, he's been absolutely on fire. Absolutely just impressive. Today, obviously, 6 innings against Tampa Bay. He goes 7 innings, 2 runs. Against Cincinnati, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Boston, 2 runs, 5 1/3. 1 earned. Against Minnesota, 5 innings. No earned. 1 hit. You know, this looks awfully familiar to what he did last year. And he got us all excited last year as far as what he has done. And he even looks more impressive right now. Now, the question is this something worth growing on? Is this something Jacob Lopez can maintain? We hope. One thing is for sure is that pitching makes a difference, doesn't it? Starting pitching's a huge deal. And it's great to see, and that's what we got in this series. They took 2 of 3 from the Rangers. Listen, Rangers aren't playing great ball, but who cares? Matters, right? They're a division rival. And you have Gage Jump, JT Ginn, Jacob Lopez. They all pitch gems. So in a sense, you're happy to see that, and it's something definitely worth getting excited about when you look to next year. And you're thinking, okay, you could comfortably say that Lopez, Jump, and Ginn right now have solidified spots with, of course, the 4th spot being Severino. Is going to get that no matter what, which leaves the 5th starter job open, which every single major league franchise has right now. There are some things to get excited about with this team. What also is interesting, and someone mentioned the other night, as far as, I can't do the shades, guys, sorry, as far as defined roles, and I kind of dismissed it, and I was wrong. I think that person, whoever said it, I forget off the top of my head, was absolutely correct. I think it's important to have defined roles. And when you look to see how this team is being managed since David Force's departure, It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. And I always said it before, and I think several other people said it as well. It's like, hey, how much of these decisions is Kotsay making on his own? I don't think he's making a lot of them. And I think how these games are being managed shows you that. Hogan Harris is the defined closer right now since David Forst has departed. And he's looked as good as he's always looked. Now, Hogan Harris is not going to be your Mason Miller type, but he is a good high leverage arm. And he's been great. 12 saves so far this year. He has a 3.5 ERA. I think Hogan Harris has been fantastic. But it's the first time you really look at this A's bullpen and say, hey, there are some defined individuals out there. That's great to see. It makes you question how much the front office, how much Forst had their hands on what was going on during games. Because I tell you right now, it looks like this team is being managed completely differently. Kobe, thank you, man. Hey, silver and black, right? It's a great logo. I'll be honest with you, I like the Raiders. It's just the sickest logo maybe in sports. I think hands down, it's up there. It makes you think how this team was being managed from the beginning, because it's different right now. The bullpen has defined roles. It used to be before, like Elvis Alvarado used to come in with like long relief. And since Forst's departure, there has been a sense of how this team's being managed. It's different. I like to see it. Zack Gelof, I tell you this much: if I'm picking pitchers of the year, you know who else has been impressive? You got to give a lot of credit to Luis Medina. Luis Medina has quietly put together a hell of a year. He's been good, and it seems like Luis Medina has gotten a little bit better every single year. Excuse me. As the year's gone on, he's gotten a little bit better, and that's something to get excited about as well. When I look at the pitching, if I was to pick an MVP of the starting pitching, I'd give it to JT Gitt. I think that's hands down. I don't think there's much question there. On relievers, I give it to Hogan Harris, with Luis Medina a close second. And as far as my MVP of the whole team, you got to go to Zack Gelof. Zack Gelof, even with his time off, has been not necessarily time off, but due to injury, has been absolutely amazing. When you're looking at Zack Gelof's stats over the years, you're looking at in only 73 games, 250 at bats. He has 14 home runs. He's batting .276, an OPS of .832. He struck out 67 times in 268 plate appearances, which is around league average, about 20% of the time he's striking out. And compared to what he did just a couple of years ago, where he led the American League in strikeouts in 2024. It's quite impressive. You got to give a lot of credit to Zack Gelof and what he's done. In 73 games, he's played everywhere too. He's played second. He's played third. He's played left field. He's played center field. And speaking of center field, I tell you what, Henry Bolte has been impressive behind the plate, at the plate, right? Another 3-hit performance changes games. I tell you this much. Hey, let me tell you something, guys. Between Tommy White, Max Muncy, and Henry Bolte defensively, I mean, they might be 3 of the worst defensive players in all of baseball. Hey, this idea of Henry Bolte playing center field, forget about it. That route he took to the ball in left center, I forgot who hit it, was awful. That should have been a routine catch. Henry Bolte can't play center field. I think he would be a decent corner outfielder. I think defensively he's at the level of a Butler. And speaking of Lawrence Butler, hey, another 2 hits. He's been better. Obviously, he's been better. I mean, I think that goes without saying. Another 2-run bomb. Hitting the ball just hard. And like I've said in the last couple nights, I'm not going to be completely sold on this team until next year. That's just the way it is, guys. That's how I'm just programmed right now. Where they're going to have to do something when games mean something. Lawrence Butler is going to have to come through when games mean something, and then I'll be sold. And I've said why the last couple times I've been on here. It's like, hey, listen, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. All that good stuff, right? So we've seen this the last 2 seasons in the second half. We've seen Lawrence Butler go off in the second half. We've seen Jacob Lopez be incredible in the second half. 2 years in a row now. And it's one thing to pitch in games and throw games where you're 14 games back. 13 and a half games back. But where you're 13 games back versus playing Seattle and Sacramento being a couple games up in the division. Dad, what up, Booney? We got a win finally, but I can't tell you still aren't sold on this team yet. I can tell that. No, how can you be sold on this team yet, D71? They've done the same thing for the 3rd year straight. I'm not. Since you haven't bought a new pair of glasses. Bro, the one flappers, man. I'm going with the one flappers. Man. You know what? Here, I'm going to go with the shades then. Screw you guys. But, no, I can't be. How can you be sold on this team, D71? How? How are you sold on this team? This is the 3rd year in a row they've done this. 2024 second half. Unbelievable. 2025 second half. Unbelievable. 2026 second half, we actually haven't been great, but we've been seeing, some productions from some guys. The pitching's gotten you a little bit excited, but no. I'm not. No. I'll be sold onto them next year. There's a difference between playing games when you are 13 and a half out versus being in first place by a few games in June playing the Mariners at home and getting swept. It's a difference. So, no. Nope. Sorry. Fool me once. Shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. Not going to fool me a 3rd time. Are there things to get excited about? Yeah, but this is the 3rd straight year that Lawrence Butler's gone off in the second half. He had a great second half last year. 2024, he had a great second half. He's having a great second half now. Great. Awesome. Yay, Lawrence. I'm not sold. No, and I won't be. I won't be until they start winning meaningful games that count. Until they have a series in June against the Mariners, against the Astros, that means something, and they get it done, and they don't get swept. So, no. Are there exciting things? Was it a fun series? Was it a good, competitive, fun series to watch this weekend? Sure, absolutely. It was good baseball. It was good pitching. Henry Bolte is someone you get excited about. No question about it. So, yes, in that sense, there are some good things to get excited about it. Ash, can we trade for Jake Berger? Oh, my God. How good is Jake Berger, dude? Jake Berger is so good, man. Best player in baseball. I don't know how he doesn't get MVP votes. Little cat, Tommy Tanks. Good to see him hit a home run. Good for him to get that off his back. Went the other way with it. I think he has the power. I just think Tanks is a really, really good hitter. Is not worried about it. Ash, how was your golf today? You know, Ash, I wasn't a complete piece of shit. I wasn't great. Team culture was okay. Got beat. We blew a lead. We blew a backside lead. Had them beat. It was kind of like an A season. Starters took into the 6th inning, handed it over to the bullpen. We gave up the lead and then actually kind of got blown out. So I was all right. I was better. Something to grow on. Kind of like, hey, you know, I was kind of a little bit of Lawrence Butler. Did some things that got you excited for the next time, but I got to do it when it counts. We're building on something. Appreciate you asking, though. I wish I could have been there. It's sad to see Sutter Hell so empty. Go. Oh, yeah. 10 for 15 in the leadoff. Well, Henry Bolte was great. Hobbies. I think that's the big reason for the leadoff spot. I don't think anybody else led off, was it? Bolte all 3 games didn't he lead off? Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Wouldn't be my first time. Or McNeil led off one. No, McNeil did too. McNeil had 4 hits. Yeah. 4 hits from McNeil in the leadoff spot. 3 hits from Bolte in each of the last 2 games. Yeah. No question. Bolte's good. They got to figure out what to do with them defensively. It shows you how important defense is. And I think the A's need to prioritize that and get better with that when you're looking into next year. My man Rich said it the other day. I got a little comment on the post saying, hey, as far as the lineup and what he thinks should happen next year is kind of in line with what I think. Gelof at third, Wilson at short, JKG at second. You got Kurtz at first, Shea behind the plate. Left field is Soderstrom. Center field is Denzel. Right field is a platoon between Butler and Bolte. DH is Rooker. Your starting 5 would be, well, right now 4. You would go Jump, Ginn, Severino, and Lopez in no particular order. And that's what I'm talking about. Nick Booney, can't wait to join you on Last Call soon. Hey, man, you know what? For anybody that wants to hop on and celebrate this party, I'm going to put the link in the chat. And if you guys want to hop in and talk a little A's baseball, come on by right now. Here you go. Nick, Q, for anybody who wants to hop on, hop on. Q, what's up, Q? The one flappers. Really hoping Tommy Tanks can go on a tear to attract some trade attention. That's a good point. We have too many guys who swing at everything, and hopefully we can maximize his value. What's crazy about Tommy Tanks is his strikeouts. That's what surprised me a little bit. He's striking out more than I thought he would. Still, at an excellent percentage, strikeout-wise. But yeah, I didn't expect him to chase as much. That's for sure. Lopez has been exciting. Butler swinging it. Again, guys, I will say this about Lawrence Butler, and I've been hard on him, and I'm going to continue to be hard on him. All right, I'm not going back on my take with regard to Lawrence Butler. I feel how I do about Lawrence Butler. I feel he's stabbed me in the back for the last few years. But I will say this. In order for the A's, and I've said this the whole time, in order for the A's to get from here to here, you have to have a good Lawrence Butler. You have to have a good Lawrence Butler. I was hoping Lawrence Butler, when he hit the single up the middle, I wanted to see him steal. I wanted to see him take second. I wanted him to be more aggressive. With that being said, you had a former all-star catcher in Diaz behind the plate, and a lefty on the hill who had a good move to first, who already picked off Bullpen, and Diaz threw out Gelof at third. I could see why he didn't go, but that's kind of the Lawrence Butler I wanted to see. I wanted Butler to at least go with 2 outs. There's 2 outs, a runner at first. You got to take that shot. You got to take that shot. And that's what I want to see more of Butler. I want to see that athleticism. If we're depending on Butler just to be a middle of the order power hitting bat, I don't like it. But if Butler can show that athleticism, have some chaos, cause some chaos around the bases, even when he's having a bad series, like he did in Boston, then, yeah, then we got something. But I want to see that. And that's what we saw in 24. That's what we saw in the second half of last year. I want to see Butler cause some chaos on the bases. Woo! And listen, we have to have a good Lawrence Butler in order to be a good team. That's for sure. They locked in Hogan Harris last year to the bullpen, into that closer role. Then all of a sudden we get into the season this year and it's bullpen by committee. And now we're going back to Hogan Harris as the season closes. Am I saying Hogan Harris is the answer to everything? No, but what I am saying is Hogan Harris is a better option than spending $14, $15 million on, let's say, a David Bednar for 1 year. That's what I am saying. Q. Agreed, Booty. I think Butler's offseason effort is going to be a big factor. Yeah, I'm 100% with you, Q. You know, I think you said it. I think a lot of A's fans have said it. It looked like Butler was not in shape. Did that have a lot to do with his injury? Yeah, but we can't use the injury as an excuse because he didn't spend time on the IL to open up the season. He was on the 26-man roster opening day. And I think Butler had his hand on influencing that decision. And he wasn't good. He only played 4 games in spring training. Same with Lopez. This is going to be similar to next year, too. Remember, guys, there will be a lockout next year. It will be an abbreviated spring training. I already know what's going to happen, guys. So, yeah, it's going to be an abbreviated spring training. Spring training games are going to get cut. They're going to rush the season to get started. They're going to get 162 in, and what's going to sacrifice is players getting ready. Trust history. History has a habit of repeating itself. It will repeat itself again. So that's what will happen next year. And these guys are going to have to go through the same thing. Butler needs to have a big offseason. So does Jacob Lopez as well. Jacob Lopez, man. I mean, lay off the cookies, bro. Stop hanging out with Suarez, okay? Get in the weight training room. Start hitting the weights. Do your thing. Stop hanging out with Suarez. I want to see Basso get run. I do too, Ash. I agree with you there. That's what Basso was a starter. I'd like to see him compete for that 5th spot. If I was to pick who I want to see compete for that 5th spot next year, it's going to be Basso and Perkins. Don't sign another Aaron Savali type of pitcher. Don't sign no journeyman. Okay? I do too, Ash. I want to see Arnold start the year at AAA. Take that mental challenge of getting guys out in Vegas in the PCL. Speaking of pitchers, Josiah Romeo, which we had on the show a few weeks ago on the Port Report, pitched 6 innings of 2-hit ball as the Ports beat who cares? But they won in a big game today. Q, I wish they had more of an off season to work with Basso. I'm not sure he has the pitch mix to get right-handers out consistently right now. I'm not disagreeing with you, Q. I do want to see that. I do want to see that Basso gets the opportunity to compete for that 5th spot, and I think he'll get that opportunity. I don't know who else you're going to consider in that 5th spot, right? Because I think right now you have 4 spots locked down. You have Severino, Lopez, Ginn, Jump. I don't think they pick up the option on Jeffrey Springs, which would cost them about $15 million. I doubt it. You got to go Basso. Morales, is he going to figure it out? I think it's key what these guys do in the offseason on their own. Billy, but if there's a lockout, will there be trades and free agents? Side, no, there will not. There will not. It's going to be a very short offseason as far as that goes. So the lockout will start December. There'll be no winter meetings. I think the lockout will end in mid-March, which is going to leave you a very, very, very short spring training, probably a month. And then they'll start games in mid-April. They'll squeeze in 162. A lot less days off, a lot more playing, but they're going to get 162. They'll probably extend the season. World Series will be in November. But they're going to get the 162 in. But no, it's going to be something very, very quick and fast. Basso started yeah, he did. He was on the bump for the last haul. All the injuries is giving several guys a chance to shine. Bolte is a good example. As far as routes in the outfield, only Denzel seems to be MLB level in fielding and routes. Butler's back at 26 under. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think you have to put Denzel in center just because we don't have another center fielder that's serviceable. I mean, maybe Gelof in center, but at the same time, then who plays third? We don't have anybody at third that's serviceable defensively. Defense matters. Have you talked about Sodi's injury? No. Oblique? He's on the 10-day. He comes back maybe at the end of the season. There's only 38 games left, guys. As far as I'm concerned, shut him down. Shut him down. Boney, I'm definitely sold on this team. Good for you, man. Same way Oriole fans were sold on the 20-game losing streak and 86 are still. Listen, guys, there are some exciting things about this team. I do think that when you look at the season, I do think that Jump and Ginn are the real deal. I think you know what you're getting from Severino. I'm not sold on Butler. I'm not sold on Bolte. I think Gelof's the guy. Everybody else. The question is Soderstrom and Wilson going to be stars? Or are they just going to be kind of serviceable? Are they just going to be good major league players, right? You know, Kurtz is a star. Is Soderstrom going to be the guy like, let's say, like who I have him comp to is like a Christian Yelich in his prime? You know, kind of a guy that can hit 30, 35 bombs, hit 310, drive in 100 and something runs. Is Christian Yelich in his prime Tyler Soderstrom's ceiling? Or is Tyler Soderstrom just kind of Tyler Soderstrom, if you know what I mean? Just whatever, right? 245, 25 bombs, 80 RBIs, serviceable in left field. It's fine. Jacob Wilson, what's he going to be? Is he going to be a 310, 315 guy, 300 guy with 18 to 20 bombs? Or is he going to be 270 with 10 bombs and serviceable defensively? Those things matter. I think Gelof's a 2020 guy. So those are the things. When you look at this team and its future, I look at guys like, what's Tyler Soderstrom's ceiling? What's Jacob Wilson's ceiling? I think we know what Kurtz is going to be. Butler, I'm not there on, and I'm not there on Bolte yet. We have ideas on what we think Bolte will be, but we don't know. Butler's done this to us 3 years in a row. I'm not there. I'm glad he's doing well. In order for Butler to get from here to here, for this team to get here to here, we need a good Butler. And like Q said earlier, he has to have a good offseason. It was obvious he came well out of shape, and that maybe that had a lot to do with the injury. But shit, guys. Come on. You know what I'm saying. Ash, 38 games left. So you're telling me there's a chance to make the playoffs? Hey, man, in this freaking division, look at these stats. Look at these records, Ash. Astros 63 and 62. The Rangers are 61 and 64 and 2 games back. The Mariners are 59 and 66 at 4 games back. It is sick. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah. And remember, guys, we were 8 back at the break. We believe it or not, we've only lost 5 games apace. It's the craziest shit, man. Craziest shit. Little Cat Morales got shelled again. Golly, he did, huh? Would give up on him in a trade. Little Cat, but who wants him, dude? He can't get nobody out. I mean, you think we're the only ones that see this? Bro, we want to get a jar of Coliseum dirt for Morales right now. I mean, shit. Hey, bro, they wouldn't. There is nothing they would get from Morales right now. Springs will pitch sometimes this week. I tell you this much, man. Springs is pitching for his freaking career right now. Salty, what's up, man? I love Henry Bolte. Yeah, I talked about it earlier on today, Salty. You talk about Max Muncy, Tommy White, and Henry Bolte are just awful defensively. I think Henry Bolte could be a serviceable corner outfielder, but as far as a center fielder, no, he's no center fielder. I mean, the route he took on that ball in left center today, it was like this. Salty, me and you we would have caught that ball today. It's bad. His bat's been great, though, right? His bat's been great. And like I said it earlier, I think if you're looking at the strongest offensive team right now, combination of offense and defense is Soderstrom in left, Denzel in center. You platoon Bullpen and Butler in right. First is Kurtz. Second is JKG. Shortstop's Wilson. Third is Gelof. Catcher is Lang. Rooker DHing. And off the bench, I don't want Leo up yet. Just because it makes no sense for Leo not to be hitting every day. It makes no sense for him not to be, he needs to play every day. Leave him in Vegas. If he starts the year in Vegas, like Kurt started his year in Vegas, then bring him up. But until that happens, let him continue to develop. Devin Taylor, somebody else, same type of deal, same type of timeline. I put DeVries and Devin Taylor in the same box. So right now that's 10, which leaves 3 spots open. So 11 will be a backup catcher. That should be interesting what they do on that one. And then leaves 2 other positions open. Max Muncy will be in the hunt for that probably. Tommy Height will be competing for that as well. It should be interesting what they do with that other position. We saw Max Muncy play some outfield in spring training, in AAA when he got sent down. So that should be interesting too. 2027 Gelof. Third, Kurtz first, second, JKG I got at second. Wilson at short, Bullpen right with Butler's what I got. I got Denzel center. I got Sodi left field catcher. I got Shea. I'm curious to see how Denzel Clark. I mean, shoot, Salty. If we had anybody serviceable to play center field, I think that becomes more of a question. But right now, there's literally, it's bad. The center fielders we have right now are terrible. You talk about the center fielders we have. I believe it or not, I think the best center fielder we have right now is Zack Gelof. But then who plays third? I think you have to play Denzel in center. Do you think Shea goes in the offseason? I hate to say it, Ash. I hope so. Just because we need pitching so badly. And the A's are not going to be a team where they sign like a guy like Dylan Cease, for example, that type of pitcher to 7 years, $210 million. You know what I mean? And right now, when you look at the minor leagues and you look at the prospects we have coming up as pitching, there's not much there. So we need to reload that for sure. These fucking glasses. I need to get a new pair like, what's his name? Dat said. Fucking glasses. The second, Rooker and Butler have value. We should trade them. Langoliers trade too. Resign Jonah Heim. Yeah. Where do you eventually see Drew Burris and Devin Taylor? I think Drew Burris is still some time. Devin Taylor is going to be an all-star. It all depends on next year, Salty. Like I said, when we saw Kurtz, and I put Leo DeVries and I put Devin Taylor in the same box as far as MLB ready. But I put them in the category of where Nick Kurtz was when he started 2025 in AAA. I put him on that type of timeline. Nick Kurtz opened the first 20-something games and was unstoppable. And if they go on that type of tear, yeah, bring them up. But if they're not at that level yet, let them develop. I think Devin Taylor's ahead of Leo DeVries. It's a crowded outfield if Devin Taylor comes along like he should. Because Devin Taylor defensively is serviceable. Is a serviceable, same level as probably maybe even a step below like a Lawrence Butler. He's a corner outfielder. So you know Soderstrom's in left. He's not a center fielder. The question is, can Butler move to center? Drew Burris you're talking about. We still got time on Drew. Drew's been... It's hard to judge what Drew's doing right now in low A Stockton just because the whirlwind Drew Burris has been in as far as playing at Georgia Tech, playing in the College World Series, getting drafted, coming to low A Stockton. It's a lot. I think Burris starts next year in high A Lansing and makes his way up. I think Burris needs a full year in the minor leagues next year. I put him at the same type of deal where Devin Taylor was this year. Devin Taylor's been an absolute tear, though. The question is, do the A's deal? I'd be honest with you guys. You guys are going to think this is crazy. You guys are thinking this is crazy. I don't mind if the A's deal Jacob Wilson. I don't mind if they deal Jacob Wilson. His gloves come around. He's a contact guy. We're loaded right now in the infield. I wouldn't say loaded, but with DeVries coming up, Gelof's there. Does Gelof get dealt? I think one of those guys get dealt. The new GM is going to be a big deal. But there needs to be a point right now, guys, where one of these outfielders need to get dealt. And right now, the biggest upside outfielders you have is probably a Henry Bolte. You look at the outfield and the construction of where the A's are right now. You have Soderstrom, you have Denzel, you have Butler, you have Bolte, you have Devin Taylor, you have Drew Burris. I'm sure there's a few other guys I'm missing as well. Let me pull it up. You got to deal some of these guys. You just have to. Why the A's waited so long? Now, again, we don't know what talks were happening, but why they waited so long and didn't deal a Carlos Cortez sooner for anybody. Colby Thomas earlier for anybody is beyond me. When you're looking at this outfield and how it looks, you know what? Let me pull out the old top 30 prospects, guys. What am I doing here? Let's take a look at the old ticker. Okay, so you got DeVries, infield, Burris, outfield, Arnold, pitcher, Kuroda Grauer will start next year. Colomi is probably still 3 years away, I would say. Lynn, Tommy John, we don't know how he's going to come back. Devin Taylor, outfielder. He's going to be ready. Mason Edwards, probably still a couple of years away. You got Brayson Guedez, still a few years away. Tommy White, infielder. Gabe Gakel, pitcher, got drafted this year. Same with Dudan, sorry. Montero, shortstop. Major League ready glove now. Morris. I like Cade Morris. I don't think he's going to be the guy. Braden Nett, what are we going to get from him? Came over the Mason Miller trade, got demoted to Double-A, had his first start with Double-A today, pitched okay. Maury, several years away. Steven Echeverria, is he going to be the guy? Roman Martin's been impressive. He got drafted this year. Henry Baez came over in the Miller trade. Hasn't done much. Davis Diaz, I like a lot. Junior Tur, we saw what he could. He's not the guy. Cole Khan, is that going to be our future backup? Zane Taylor. Kenya Huggins came over in the Miguel Andujar trade. Zane Taylor, 5th rounder out of Wilmington last year. Nathan Detmer. Darwin Azuna. Bobby Bozer from Florida. Jackson Finley. Camarillo, kind of like another JKG type. And Gunnar Hoglund. Jeez, it'd be nice to get a good Gunnar Hoglund, wouldn't it? Chad, bullpen only gave up one. Yeah, they did, man. It's pretty good. And I talked about it a little bit at the top. And a couple days ago, someone said, hey, it's important that this bullpen finally had defined roles. And I think I dismissed that a little quick because I was pissed off at what they did in the Rays series. But I think they were right. I think it's important that they have defined roles, and we're starting to see that. And we're starting to see that this bullpen and this team's being managed a little bit differently since Force got let go, which gives you a little bit of insight on how this team was being managed and how much Force had his hands on in this bullpen, in this team, on the field, all that good stuff. Booney, you bring up Basso a lot. I feel the same way about Basso as I do about Mike Trout and Tim Salmon. There's something really fishy about 3 of them. You're a funny guy, Bobby. Good one, bud. Who do you see our T1 guys versus Tier 2 and 3 next couple of years? Is Kurtz and Shea? Of course, Kurtz and Shea, you got your Tier 1. I think you would put Soderstrom in that Tier 1, but hey, Salty, what's Soderstrom going to be? Right? We don't know what Soderstrom is going to be. Is Soderstrom going to be like a Christian Yelich? Is he going to be a star? Is he going to be an all-star? Is he going to be an MVP candidate? Or is he going to be Tyler Soderstrom, if you know what I mean? We don't know what we're getting from Soderstrom yet. Jacob Wilson, same thing. I don't know what you're going to get with Jacob Wilson. I'd put Wilson and Soderstrom in that Tier 2. I think Gelof is more valuable right now than Soderstrom and Wilson. Right now, he's better ball players than both of them. And we don't know what Gelof's upside is yet. To me, he's the most valuable A's player this year. What's Butler going to be? Right? We've seen this. This is the 3rd straight second half where Butler's been awesome. And I've said it all along. I've been hard on Butler. And I think partly it's deservingly so. But it's the 3rd straight second half where Butler's gone off. Nothing was like 2024. 2025 was all right. This year's been all right. We've seen stretches as of late where he's looked great. In order for this team to take the next step, Butler has to be good. It's important to me to see what this team does. There's 2 things to look at, guys. And I've said it at the top earlier. We're 13 and a half games back. we're playing better. Guys like like Lawrence Butler and Jacob Lopez are great. Awesome. Good for them. We saw this story last year with Lopez. But there's a difference of how they're going to throw right now versus a series in June against the Mariners, where it's an important series where we get absolutely run off the field in 3 games. Right now, this team's not a tough team. And I think it's important we address that. Because when the chips are down, when things are getting tough, when the defending American League West champs come to Sacramento, you got to play. And you got to be a tough team when it matters. Right now, they're playing great. Awesome. Great. Cool. It's easy to play well when you're 13 and a half games back. So I don't know. I don't know if that exactly answered your question, Salty, but and Shea, man, yeah, I mean, Shea, you look at his last 50 games, he hasn't been good. He just got off to such an amazing start. But when you look at his season, Hobbs, so basically say trade Shea, Rooker, I didn't say Rooker. Sodi, I didn't say Sodi. Butler, well, no one's going to take Butler. And Wilson, I did say Wilson. What do we build with them? I didn't say half those guys, Hobbs. I said we should, if Shea's going to get us a haul back, yeah, 100%. And I feel the same way with Wilson. Because it all depends on what you get back. I never said to trade Shea, Soderstrom, or Rooker, or Butler. I mean, your most valuable asset right there was Shea. And we saw the load that Adley Rutschman brought the Red Sox. I wish we made that deal sooner. I said that a long time ago to trade Shea. Now, I didn't say Butler or any of those other guys. I did Shea, and yeah, they should shop Wilson. They should shop Wilson. Waited so long because Forrest saw the writing on the wall and checked out. I agree with that. Feinstein is grabbing guys on waivers as a last ditch to save the entire front office from getting canned. Yeah, me too. If there's again, a lot of it to your question too, Hobbs. If there's a good comment, if there's a good package out there, you take it. But I don't think you're going to get much for. You're not going to get anything for Rooker, an aging DH, and Butler, who's showing signs, but still is not even a 10-10 guy. Kurtz, Wilson, and Sodi are looking real injury prone on and off all season. Too much. Just not a real tough team, Bob. And you know what? We don't know how hurt they are. I don't want to say if they are or aren't, but they got to toughen up. I completely agree. Gelof is tier 2 with Wilson and Sodi and Rooker. Yeah. The coaches on this team do not appear capable of fixing chronic problems like bad routes. They never do, right, Bob? I mean, even that comment Kotze said about Arnold was so telling, where it was like, I hope he figures out the changeup in AA and is ready to throw that before he comes up here. Well, I do too. But if he's not, are you going to coach him on that or what? That's kind of what I took. We don't know what was really involved in that comment, but it does tell you, like, hey, they're basically saying your fundamentals should be worked out before you guys get here. And partially that's true, but they're there and they're making the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. And we've seen this for the last 2 seasons where fundamentals at the Major League Baseball level with the A's are being made over and over and over. How many times last year did guys not call each other off? So there needs to be a point where it's like, okay, fine. You're right. There's a point to what they're saying. It's like the fundamentals should be taken care of when they get to the major leagues. It's not. So are you going to continue just to let it go? I would say that Gelof, Ginn, Jump, and Bullpen are a big success. Yeah. No, but you didn't say that everyone is throwing out names. The point they are building with no one. So the whole thing is, though, okay, when we're talking about Drew Burress and Devin Taylor, Soderstrom, Denzel, Butler, Bullpen, you got a loaded outfield. Not everyone can play there. You got Kurtz, you got JKG, you got Wilson, you got eventually DeVries, you got Gelof, you got Shea. What we don't have is pitching. That's what I'm getting at. We don't have pitching. And we're not going to sign your Dylan Cease type, right? We're not going to sign that 7-year, $210 million guy. Billy Ball for life. It should be mandatory for Butler to spend the offseason with Paul O'Neill. So when he comes back, he can be injected with him caring about winning. Yeah, ain't that the truth, Billy Ball? Jesus. You're right. You're right. That's one thing this team doesn't have, man. They don't care enough about winning. And there's a lot of criticism like, hey, if you don't think these guys want to win, you're crazy. We do think they want to win. We do think they want to win when it's convenient for them and comfortable for them to win. They are not willing to be uncomfortable in order to win. That's what I'm saying. Everyone wants to win. They are not willing to do what it takes to be uncomfortable in order to win. For Lawrence Butler to come back in the offseason looking like a fat fuck is unacceptable. Jacob Lopez to look like Jose Suarez is unacceptable. They are out of shape, man. They're professional athletes, man. For Jacob Wilson to look like he tore his ACL, is going to be out the season because he had an error ruled against him that broke his streak is ridiculous. That's not winning. That's not being uncomfortable. You're worrying about the stuff that's not important. You're worrying about the wrong things. Whatever. Wilson is a good idea because what we saw last season is Jacob's ceiling. I hope not, but you could be right, Hobbs. He's had a rough one. He's definitely regressed a little bit. We're seeing a lot of chase, and they're pitching him differently and that sort of thing. You know what was interesting in the interview with Drew Burress I had with him, and someone made a comment about it, was when Drew Burress came on, I asked him what the biggest difference was between college baseball and what he's surprised in the minor leagues. He said, in the minor leagues, they just pitch to you. The catcher throws his sign down and pitcher throws his pitch. But there's no really preparing for the individual. It's at bat by at bat. Or in college, for example, or in MLB, they're preparing for the batter. And I think My point being is I think they've adjusted to Wilson a lot. With the last 4 years of defensive disasters, they should have brought in Ron Washington as a bench coach this year. Yeah, maybe, probably. I mean, matters, right? I mean, what do we win? One more game? I mean, our problem's deeper than that, Bill. Then Ron Washington. Yeah, it would have helped, but you know, the smart move might be to trade Wilson because of the injury prone. I will say that this team was managed like the manager was trying to win for a change. This today was, yeah. You have to move Shea if he wants to go to free agency and won't sign an extension. Now he won't. Hopefully that trade brings back some more pitching. It better. Salty, the more I listen to you, yeah, we can spare Shea, Boris Client, yeah, Wilson, and Bolte for pitching. We can still build around if DeVries, JKG, Gelof, and Kurtz, and outfield Sodi, Taylor, and Burris. Yeah. Yeah. And we still have Butler too, right? No one's going to take Butler. So that's the thing with Butler. You also have Brayson Guedez, who's in a high A Lansing right now too. And he's been tearing it up. There's another guy. The guy in spring training, if you guys don't remember, hit a bomb off Michael King. He was 17 at the time. I think 18 maybe at the time. He's good. There's another outfielder as well. We just, yeah. Without Shea, we could give Heim. I'm thinking the same thing, 2 years, $10 million. Chad, no shit. Not keeping Susak on the. You think? Some things just are like so puzzling. Everybody that was up in the air as far as who is going to get that 40th man spot is DFA'd right now. It's the wildest shit. Anyway, I haven't even finished my freaking drink. Ugh. But it was a good series. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was good baseball. There was things that make you get excited if it's the first time you're watching A's baseball, but they've done it to me too often. I'm not going to be there until next year, guys. I'm just not. It's fun to see JT Ginn and jump. Lopez, it's awesome. Saw that same story last year. Lawrence Butler, great. 3 years in a row. Awesome. Good for you. It's a little scotch there, Hobbs. A little scotch. But I think at the end of the day, guys, they need to toughen up. It's a soft-ass team, man. They are soft as Charmin, and they need to toughen up. I will say that. All right, fellas, you guys take care. Later.